So, for example, see, in today's world, right, especially because I'm mother of two young boys as well, everybody is visibly online,
Yeah,
correct?
absolutely.
But yet they are very much invisible. But at the same time, they are very much self aware and they have a lot of emotional intelligence.
Yeah. What makes a movie meaningful? Is it elaborate drama? Maybe clever humor? Strong character development? Or all of the above? Well, I believe that a good movie, just like any good story, leaves viewers with something to think about. An idea, a message, a concept that reaches past material enjoyment and touches some deeper part of us. That is the power of good storytelling. It can make us feel something, even if we cannot relate directly to the story itself. It is the human parts of the characters we connect with, because each of us understands emotions like excitement, fear, joy, and heartbreak. Priya Samant pioneered the concept of an impact advisor in 2019 when working on the child labor-focused film Jalki. Her efforts led to the creation of a new credit title for films with a social cause. And she's since gone on to work on several other projects, such as My Home India and The Illegal, both of which were listed for an Oscar nomination in 2020 and 2021. In this role, she works to bring attention and awareness to these powerful films and the causes they support through targeted screenings, think tanks, and debates. This is someone who grew up in Mumbai, India, during a time where topics such as mental health would rarely have been discussed. Someone who now makes an effort to ride local trains every time she travels, because that's what allows her to fully connect with local communities. The way I see it, what makes Priya Samant special is the lens with which she views each and every project she's been a part of. Not that of an expert or a critic, but of a human being. My name is Yuvan Rasea, and every 2 weeks I sit down with people from all walks of life who have something meaningful to offer. Lessons, stories, and honest reflections on personal growth. These conversations aren't about having all the answers. They're about learning from people who've lived through moments of loss, change, and renewal. Welcome to Lived Words. I've always been a big believer in the power of storytelling. What role do you feel like stories can play in reaching people, connecting to people, especially when it comes to mental health?
So, stories generally depict our life journey, right?
Yeah.
In some other way. So, it's very important aspect of life. And as it relates to mental health, and we will talk it from the perspective of youth, because you're young, you fall in that category.
Absolutely.
It's very powerful tool. It can be a catalyst for change, and it is a medium through which one can bring out all the aspects of or facets of life. So, for example, see, in today's world, right, especially because I'm mother of two young boys as well, everybody is visibly online,
Yeah,
correct?
absolutely.
But yet they are very much invisible. But at the same time, they are very much self aware and they have a lot of emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
They speak up, like you are here today trying to bring those aspects through the podcast. So you're also trying to tell a story from somebody else's viewpoint,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And trying to bring it to your audience who are young youths. So from that perspective, storytelling is a very important tool. And in today's digital world, where most of our life is online, or at least we try to pretend to bring it online,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's a very important aspect. And in the way where I come from, I always look at from the lens of the human impact and from the lens of humanity.
Yeah. In terms of, you mentioned like people being invisible. And also being visible.
Correct.
Can you say more? What do you mean?
Yes, so see, when I say people are visible, so most of us have an online persona, right?
Yeah.
Where we seem to be very happy, very social, we pretend as if we have a lot of friends, but in reality, that scene can be very different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So, in real sense, and I know many of such people, and especially young people, who have that kind of persona.
Right.
Actually, I just came back from India, and my niece was telling about stories that she's familiar about, where people are very visible online, but offline they're very different. They're very lonely.
Yeah.
They yearn for more.
Yeah.
They yearn to be seen. They yearn to be heard.
Yeah.
And that is very important, right? From a perspective of a storyteller, or from a perspective of a podcaster, or any medium of media.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Absolutely. I think it's so interesting because we we create these kind of networks online, right? Sometimes, and people look at how many followers do you have, or how many
Correct.
likes did your comment get, or your post get, and it gives us a sort of sense of like satisfaction. Oh, I must have friends.
Correct.
But in reality, you turn the phone off, and you look around, and it's an empty room, right? There's this kind of dichotomy of like your perception of connection isn't really.
And also, there is a lot of pressure.
Right. Yes.
There's so much pressure.
Yes.
To be current.
Yes.
Right, to be pursued in a certain way.
Absolutely.
To be liked in a certain way. Like I'll tell you, I was, as I said, right, I was in India, and I love to take local trains when I travel, because that's how I grew up. I don't take that much, not that often that I can do it, and this was a very short trip, but I still travel in local train, and I'll tell you, because it's so crowded, right? I was seeing one girl who was continuously looking how many likes she got. She had some channel that she had published, and she was continuously trying to see like what activity that has got, and how is she pursued, or how is her channel pursued online. I think that is a lot of pressure, especially for young minds that are developing. Right, and it can be handled and done in a better way. But the way the world is moving right now, right? You have your digital and social media tools to take care of, but you also have aspects of AI that has penetrated now.
Absolutely.
That you have to keep yourself current with, and there's so I from a perspective coming back to your question of being visible at the same time invisible. That's what I meant is, while everyone is trying to be visible online, but from a perspective of you, they are still very invisible.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a comparison element, right? Where we look at other people and think that we should also have that many followers, or also have that many likes, because, well, what did that person do that I didn't do? And when we see, they have this nice car, this nice house, and then we feel less, right?
Yes.
We feel inadequate.
Yes.
And it brings these sort of negative feelings, because it's so easy to compare when you can see all this stuff, and of course, some of the things that people want to share online, there's all these positive things.
Correct. But what I'm feeling is, as I said, right, that also your generation is very self-aware. So when you know that many of you, okay, I don't say all, but the majority of the section, the youth section, which is from 18 to 35, that's what the UN says. So for your category, kids just try to speak up. Right, when they know that they are going down spiral, they try to speak up, which was not in our generation. We used to kind of go in our own in our own shell, and used to take. And when I grew up in India. I grew up in Mumbai, which is a big metropolitan city. The mental health, the term, was very unknown to me. And my extended family, everybody is a doctor. Right? At least I didn't hear it, because things were very different that time.
Absolutely.
Right? While everybody was ambitious, our wants were very little. right? Now we all are adapting to the new changing times, and that's the need of time that we have to be, everywhere and have to be seen. But that's that part of being seen, where how far you one wants to take, is very important.
Right. Absolutely.
I think there should be a balance that one should be able to strike, and it is not only for youth; it's for us adults, adults as well. Where striking that balance is very important, because you can show off as much as you want, but the reality can be very different.
Yes, absolutely. I absolutely agree. I think it's interesting you mentioned that mental health is like not a term
Yes.
that you even knew.
At least why I did not know when I was growing
Yeah,
up.
and it's something I've heard from a couple people now. I talked to Dr. Julia Sarmiento from Harvard. She grew up in Mexico. She never, like, mental health was like not a thing, and therapy was for crazy people.
Correct.
It wasn't like a thing that every relevant person did. I'm so curious, like, how has your thinking about mental health changed as you've gotten older and we've evolved into this sort of digital age where people talk more about these things?
No, I mean, all these things are very real, and I'll tell you, so I lost my only brother recently in month of May, and he was, it was very untimely. So he has only one daughter, and she actually sought therapy. And she was very open about it, because, you know, that is how she could get back the reality and start the novel, because it came, very suddenly for us, right? For me, I just, after I was with him for a month, I came back, and then my body started showing up. And I was in hospital for 3 days here.
Wow.
My allergies erupted, my body inflamed.
Yeah.
And then when I found out about it, later after doing a lot of investigation, it was stress and trauma. So, I mean, these things are very real.
Absolutely.
And one has to address it. And mental health in today's day and age is very, I mean, I'm glad that people are opening about it. People are openly talking about it. There are so many podcasts that are around it, and so many other, YouTube channels that kind of address it. And I'm very glad that you being, a youth of today, especially for our diaspora, our young, South Asian people of South Asian origin, I think it would be very helpful for them to understand kids your age that this is very real, and one has to be very open about it. And from a perspective of storytelling, and through this mediums like podcast and other social media channels, that somebody's trying to tackle it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we come from there's this culture of living fast, moving fast through life, right? And you Mumbai is the epitome of moving fast. We have it in the U.S. too, especially when it comes to like the corporate world and people trying to get to this school and this work and this job, and it's like everything is how fast can you get there, how quickly can you compete, and I think we forget to slow down and check in on ourselves and how are we feeling, right?
That's a very important point. You brought it. Is that it's very fast.
Yeah.
It's extremely fast. It's very noisy.
Yeah.
But internally, if you say it's very quiet. There's a lot of analysis to be done. There's a lot of introspection to be done.
Yes.
And there's so many other elements of it that is important. That's why I said from a life journey perspective.
Absolutely.
That's why I chose it. See, I'm a tech entrepreneur by training.
Yeah.
Right? But storytelling happened to me.
Okay.
And I just took up on it because I saw a gap, and I will talk more about it, as you ask more questions. But in a nutshell, this is a very important thing. There is a lot of noise in today's world. The world is moving very fast.
Yeah.
Our technology is disrupting a lot of stuff, so there is pressure to be current with everything. But at the same time, the plus side is youth of today is very aware. They have that self-awareness, and they don't shy away from speaking.
Yes.
But at the same time, they want to be seen, they want to be heard, and they want to make sure that many of them, not all, but as I said, again, I'm going to stress this is, they're visibly online,
Yeah.
but still very invisible.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of work to be done in that area.
Absolutely agree. You mentioned storytelling happened to you.
Mhm.
Say more, please. What is that? What do you mean?
So, see, I have always been very passionate about impact.
Okay.
I grew up in a family, my extended family was in politics
Okay.
and the field of medicine.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of doctors in my family.
Yeah.
So I have seen creating social impact, for the community, for humanity, very closely.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were bankers.
Okay.
And I'm the youngest in the family. So, your early impressions are surrounded by your immediate family. And that happened to me. So, when I came to the US, and I'm very passionate about arts and culture.
Yeah.
So, when I came here, I always, and I grew up in a place in Mumbai called Goregaon, which is in suburbs. And there's where Film City, where most of the shootings for films, the Indian films, as we call it, Bollywood, in the cinema happens.
Right.
So, films had always had a lot of impact on me. Mm-hmm. Okay, but as growing up, I always saw a gap, the way the storytelling and narratives were brought to the world platform.
Okay.
When there were a lot of stars in a particular movie, and it had a social or a cultural or an issue-based message to begin with, it could see the day of light in terms of, box office success,
right.
in international markets as well.
Right. Yeah.
But even if the narrative was good and a really powerful story, but if it did not have, it would have great actors in it, but not like great stars.
Yeah.
It would not see the day of light.
Yes.
So I always saw that gap in the cinema, and I always had a passion to change it.
Okay.
And I always thought that if there is as we have a title for director, we have producer, so you know what the work of that particular title is, right? What they are supposed to do. I always thought that if there is a credit title for, say, impact advisor, then lot of these narratives that are brought, come to light can always be brought on the world platform, and we can actually create ambassadors. Then who can take not only the cause forward, but it could also benefit the movie from the box office perspective.
Right.
So that was my vision, and fortunately how it worked is, there is a film festival here, very well known film festival, called as Boston Film Festival. Mr. Patrick Jerome leads it.
Yeah.
He had invited me because there was a film coming called Chali, which was on the work of a Nobel laureate who won the 2014 Peace Prize with Malala Yousafzai, Mr. Kailash Satyarthi. The movie was on his work, which is helping the vulnerable kids, kids that are trafficked as child labor, human trafficking and child labor. So, National Award winning director Mr. Brahmanand Singh. National Award is one of the most prestigious awards given in India by the Government of India.
Absolutely.
So, Mr. Brahmanand Singh is multiple times a National Award winner. So, he made this film called Chalki, and it was doing the festival circuits in the United States.
Okay.
So, I was invited to, host a reception for him. And after we met, we couldn't meet the reception because there was some miscommunication. But when we met, I just quoted this idea to him, and then he told me, "Why don't you come on board?" So I said, "This is the idea I have to float a credit title impact advisor, so that it is not just for one film, right? It will have its life of its own, which can down the line become standard." In Indian cinema.
Yeah.
And he really liked that idea because that is something bigger than him and me, bigger than one film.
Right.
And he gave me that opportunity. He was very kind. He saw the vision. He saw wanted to take it,
Yeah.
and he believed in me. You know, somebody has to believe when you're trying to
Yes.
innovate or disrupt, right?
Yes.
And he did believe in me, and that credit title was launched. And
you created this.
yes,
this
I pioneered it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
brilliant.
incredible.
Yeah. And with 2 years of COVID, so then the world came to a grinding halt in 2020.
Right.
So from 2019 now to 2025, I have done about, I think, 10 films, 10 to 11.
Wow.
Some of them are on verge of releasing, some are in the beginning sets on post-production,
Right.
some are going to go on the floor,
Right.
and many of them have been released.
Right. Right.
So that's a pretty good trajectory,
That's,
I think.
yeah, that's amazing. So there's this. So the impact advisor, and can you describe a little bit what is it exactly that an impact advisor does?
So see, what it does is, if there is a film-based narrative that we have to bring to the light on a world platform. So once the film is made, I have come on very few movies pre-production. Mostly the movies that I have done are on post-production.
Okay.
Okay, when they are ready for release.
Right.
So with that, the film has a narrative. So my goal is I bring the film and I do screenings, but very targeted screenings.
Okay.
Okay, with one film that I did, it's called The Kerala Story. I actually did everything online. We didn't do any screenings.
Okay.
All of it, because the timelines were so tight.
Okay.
So we did interview. We did smaller groups like settings, and I had a think tank that came in because the film was on the issue of conversion and taking by luring women through love.
Yeah.
Luring women for marriages,
Yeah.
converting them and taking them to fight as terrorists. Okay, so
Is it a real story?
Yeah, it's from the facts. Yeah,
Wow.
in southern India,
Wow.
Kerala. That's why it's called
Yeah,
the Kerala story.
Right.
Uh, and from that perspective, I had so because there were a lot of various elements in that movie, I just from impact perspective positioned it from the national security threat. What happens,
Right.
and then we had a lot of defense think tanks from US based as well as people from India joined, as well as US based think tank joined who work on peace and security.
Right.
So those are the kind of the kind of impact we try to drive, so that not only do we bring the actual essence of the story up. See, because I am not an activist, right? I'm a strategist.
Okay.
Right? So from that perspective, how do you position the movie? So it drives ROI eventually, and when the movie releases, people come and watch it in the theaters,
Right.
or on OTT.
Right.
But they also become ambassadors, impact ambassadors, and take the cause of that narrative forward and do some change in their community.
Okay. So in a sense, to kind of sum up what you're saying, you're almost elevating the film from something that's maybe for enjoyment, right? To enjoy watching, to something that can make an impact.
Yes. So I take narratives that are cause, culture, or issue based.
Right.
Yeah. So in the term, so many of the movies are commercial cinema. Okay.
Yeah.
But they are not like masala films, as we say, right? In Indian context, right? We say masala. They are not masala films.
Right.
I mean, there are a lot of masala films that have really good narrative and message, but they haven't come to me yet.
Yes.
I would love to take.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. So there are films that are already intended to kind of have this message.
Yes.
Some social
Yes.
issue
Because they portray an issue, right? So
Yeah.
with Chalki, it portrayed the issue of
Right.
human trafficking in childhood.
Right.
With Gul Makai, my second movie, which was on the work of early life of Malala, right? It was education.
Yeah.
right? My third movie was on when the Polish refugees came to India and took refuge, how open and inclusive India was
Right.
to this, refugees.
Yeah.
So it was a documentary that was actually listed for Oscars. It
Wow.
was 149 in the listing, listing.
Amazing.
Yeah, I was impacted by it for that. Then illegal was on the issue of immigration. The Kashmir Files was on the issue of exodus of the Kashmiri Hindus that happened in 1993.
Yeah.
Then Kerala Story was again, conversion and then, transporting them to fight as terrorists. And then Paro, which is on bride slavery, which you saw, right?
I did. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Okay, so you're connecting these movies with these powerful messages to these think tanks, to people, to try to get them
Yeah.
ready to.
So the movies already have powerful messages,
Yes.
right? Because the story is built that way.
Yes.
My goal is to elevate it and create awareness and
Right.
make ambassadors like.
Right.
So there is awareness, there is empathy, there is curiosity, there are debates,
Yeah. Yeah.
We live in a democracy, so all of these elements are important. I mean, some of them, but many of my films, many people agreed to some of the narratives, many did not. But at the end of the day, we brought the narrative to the world
Yes.
platform,
Really.
and it was very well received.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's amazing. Okay, let's pivot for a moment. I want to talk about you
Okay.
as an individual.
Okay.
You have, in 2019, began this impact advisory sort of journey. You've worked on 11 films since then, and it started with Chucky, and there's this whole, right, you're taking these films with powerful messages, elevating them, right, to reach people, and to create impact, right, impact advisory.
Correct.
Tell me for a moment, how has being a storyteller, this kind of fairly new, 2019 is not super long ago,
Mm-hmm.
right? How has that impacted you as an individual, as a person?
It's a very good question. So see, as I said, I was always passionate about impact.
Right.
So my first startup that I started, I used fashion as a tool for poverty alleviation.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yes. So I was way ahead of my time. I started a social enterprise, a for-profit social enterprise, and my products were available in Whole Foods
Okay.
in the United States.
Yeah.
In multiple states, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And the whole thing was using fashion as an economic tool for poverty alleviation. Right? So similarly in that also I was telling a story. Story of why environmental sustainability is important. Why being socially responsible is important.
Yeah.
Why being economically feasible is important. That was my story.
Yeah.
Right? So coming back to the films is the same. For me as a person, right? I work with large people, producers that have have done enormous, they've seen enormous success at the box office.
Yeah.
And I've also worked with new filmmakers that are coming in and a lot of independent filmmakers, that are there. Each one is passionate about what they have made, the product and the story that they want to tell.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, it has shaped me because of my individual relationship with each team of a movie, but also with the story itself. Right? And each story is different. Why the commonality between it is that I see it from the lens of humanity, right? But each one has a different aspect to bring up. Right? As I said, right, Chucky was child labor and human trafficking, Gul Makai was education, and so on and so forth, right? So from that perspective, what I have learned is I'm not expert in religion. I'm not expert. What I know is as a human, I see it from the lens of humanity. And it's extremely important that every coin has two sides. That you always have to see it from the lens of the humanity and give other person a moment to absorb it, a moment to appreciate it, a moment to embrace it, a moment to question it.
Right.
So for me, every film that I have done, I've opened those conversations.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are very fierce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sometimes they are very accommodating. Sometimes they are very embracing.
Right.
And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Right? The reach is worldwide.
Yeah.
And it's very important. See, I started only with North American reach, right? Because I was one person. I was trying to disrupt something and invent something and launch it.
Yes.
So it was just me. Slowly and gradually, with one of my movies, I went to the European continent, especially UK.
Yeah.
We did that, and now with so many years it being settled, eventually the concept, more and more people are learning about it.
Yeah.
More and more people are coming to it. It's a word of mouth that's been spread. That's why I just came back from India. I was at the 56th India Film Festival.
Yeah.
That is called IFFI Goa.
Yeah.
In Goa. And I was very honored that I got invited to speak at the National Film Development Corporation called NFTC and the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India.
Yeah.
They invited me to speak at the event, and I had two really fabulous speakers. One of them is a regional filmmaker who has a national award, and another one, she's really upcoming and producer and really knows what she's doing and has done some incredible work in bringing some cause-based narratives to the attention.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you feel like you have grown or learned, like do you grow from or learn from each movie?
Yes, so because I see everything from the lens of humanity,
Yeah.
right? There is always a learning curve in everything.
Of course.
Today also I'm learning, sitting with you, I'm so honored that,
Oh, thank you so much.
you invited me. So I'm learning from you as well, right? So we learn as humans, we learn every step of the way. So one thing I learned from this journey, or I'm rather learning as more and more films, I do films, is that everyone has their own lens of looking, right? How they want to do it. But when it comes to my table, I have only one lens to look at it. That's from humanity, and how I position it so that the diaspora and the community at large embraces it.
Right.
And that is important. So my learning was, to learn and take everything that is there in a movie. Right or wrong is for the audience to decide. Right? As a filmmaker, a director, a storyteller has a vision.
Yeah.
So they make it based on the vision, and then the audience decides it whether it's right or wrong. The perspective of what they are doing. So my job is to elevate that, create awareness, and try to position it in such a way that it will hit the core and create the change that is meant to do.
Yes. Yes. I think you mentioned this now idea of being a lifelong learner.
Yes.
And I think sometimes that can be scary because we want to have a certainty, I think, as human beings, right? We want to feel like we know what we're doing, we know how things gotta turn out, right? Be able to predict. And it's not how it works, right? You're constantly learning with each project, with each movie, with each episode that I do. I'm learning.
See, there is a saying, right? That nothing is permanent in life except change.
Yes.
So
Absolutely. Change is scary. Change is hard. I think we somewhat have an inherent fear of it because we don't understand it, right? As human beings. And but I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to embrace that, right? Embrace the change, embrace the learning, right? Embrace the fact that you are going to learn, you are going to grow, and you and I can sit down and have a conversation and learn from each other.
Yes.
then you can go talk to someone else about what you learned from me, and I can go talk to someone else about what I learned from you, and that's how we develop human beings in a society.
Yeah. So see, with this also, right, with this impact, because it was such a new concept, right? The producers and the directors took a chance on me. Based on what I was offering them, they saw the value in it.
Right. Right.
Right? See, because with film, every film is a startup. The fate of that film is decided on a Friday once it releases.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's a making or a breaking point for the producers and the directors. Now there are a lot of other mediums that have come in.
Right.
Right? We have OTTs and all that stuff.
Right.
But other than that, it's a theatrical release that decides the fate.
Yeah.
Right? So those people took a chance on me. Right? So you see, nothing change is always permanent. Right?
Okay.
And if there is a value given in that change or an innovation or a perspective which is new that can add value, then people embrace it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely agree. I think I think there's so many benefits to change, right? To learning. It's how we evolve as a society. It's how we develop. It's how we went from you're growing up not talking about mental health, and now we're having you and I sitting down having this conversation.
Yes.
It's also changed.
Yeah.
Right over a period of time. I think that's part of evolution, part of being.
So on mental health, we did during COVID actually. It was very important from a youth perspective. With a local writer, her name is Sunana Kachru, and some local artists here. We did a movie, a short film, which actually highlighted the youth issues.
Yeah.
With social media, and I sent the link to it.
Please do.
Yeah, so we never released it, anywhere. It was available on YouTube, but we did it.
Yeah. No, that's
and it's available.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. So from the perspective of storytelling and from the perspective of coming back to your point on mental health, there are a lot of such narratives now that are coming to people want to tackle this subject, people want to bring the subjects to light.
Yeah.
And in Hollywood it has been done multiple times, right? Indian cinema is also embracing it and bringing these kind of issues to light, which is very important and in a very beautiful way.
Yeah. One of my favorite movies of all time is Three Idiots.
Three Idiots, and Shah Rukh Khan and Alia Bhatt's movie, if you have seen, I'm blanking on the name. It's a very beautiful movie.
I don't know.
I will come to me.
Yeah.
It tackles mental health over
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's amazing. I think that's part of evolution of how we connect with people, right? Because everyone can kind of relate to being lonely sometimes, feeling overwhelmed sometimes, feeling sad, right? Emotions are such a powerful thing that we've all experienced that.
Right.
And it's what brings us together. I think when we tell stories that connect really deeply to people, emotionally, and connect like to our soul, right? To our to things kind of beneath the surface. That's when you really draw out connection, right? That's when the message of the movie really gets heard, because I'm able to connect to this movie. I'm able to connect to the story.
Right.
And now I feel it even more than I'm just kind of experiencing.
See, the audience today are very intelligent. Okay, and especially younger generation, their attention to detail.
Yeah.
But attention span. The attention to detail is very sharp.
Yeah.
But attention span is very low.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So the story has to grab your attention in maybe first opening dialogues, maybe first 5 to 10 minutes. Then then one gets engaged and they can further watch the movie.
Right.
But that's the consumer today, the attention span of a consumer is kind of becoming,
Absolutely.
very, so, the movies used to be first 3 hours, then 2 hours, then 1 hour. Now they are a mini, micro, short films.
Yeah.
So it's changing.
Absolutely.
And that's a change that people are embracing. Because, see, at the end of the day, I'm going to say, in the, phrase.
Sure.
They say I think it is that, at least in Mumbai I have heard this phrase, okay? Janta Janardana. It means audience is the king.
Yes.
Audience is the god. So
Absolutely.
if the attention of the audience, or if the audience demand the content that is crisp, concise, and micro, or short, then that is what the content makers have to make it.
Yeah, as part of a good story, right?
Yeah.
Part of a good story.
As part of a good story.
To reach people.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So the stories that you tell, these movies that you've worked on, they're very powerful, incredibly powerful. I remember watching Power, I was like stunned.
Yes.
It was an incredible movie.
Yes.
Also very difficult. Right?
Yes.
Very difficult movie sometimes to watch, to
Yes.
think about. And you were sort of around them, like you're working with them, you're kind of seeing these movies. Is there sort of an emotional weight that you feel ever, where it's like all of these things, it's like these things are happening, they're real stories, right?
They're real stories, and the reason they are brought to light is because it has to make change. And so with Parvo, the lead actor that you met,
Yes.
Ms. Trupti Goyal, she's the lead actor, she's the producer, and she's also the writer of the film. She actually, so BBC in 2014 and Al Jazeera in 2016 had done a feature about this issue of Paro, because Paro is not name of a woman or a girl, it's a community.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Brides that are trafficked, they are called paros or outsiders.
Yeah.
So Trupti actually went, got in touch with BBC, and she got the contact. She posed herself as a junior journalist and her mom as a senior journalist, and they went to this place, Mewat in Haryana, and they actually met these ladies.
Wow.
Right? She did research to the core.
That's amazing.
So this is, and after that, the movie got made in 2023. So there is, research, getting funds. So there is so much work that happens, right?
Yeah.
It's and the fate of the movie is decided pretty quickly once it's released. But the groundwork that happens in making so much, and it's not just one person.
Yes.
It's a tribe. It's a village that comes together.
Yes.
Right? So from that perspective, the emotional burden is absolutely there.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not just me. Because see, when in filmmaking or when you're associated with anything that is creative, right? You become secondary. The cause becomes primary. If the cause is elevated, this is what I believe, okay? If the cause is elevated, if the story is elevated, then you automatically get elevated.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because in the world, we try to, position ourselves first. No, first is cause. First is the story. Other things follow.
Right.
That is my school of thought.
I completely agree. I think when you have a commitment to a cause, to a message like that, that's where you build. That's how you build a story, right? When you have complete buy-in,
Right.
complete commitment from the team, from the village, as you said, and everyone is like, we're committed to this, to telling the story the best way, to reaching the people that we need to reach, to making the impact, right, that we need to make. And yeah, everyone is elevated by the success of such
The success of it. So the journey, the emotional, I shouldn't say it as a burden, but it's the emotional journey.
Yeah.
That, one doesn't walk alone.
Yeah.
We walk together.
Yeah.
Because the product is successful as a team and failure as a team.
Right. Absolutely. Can you talk a little bit more about, you mentioned that you cared about making an impact, right? From a young age, you wanted to make an impact. Can you talk a little bit about why? Do you have a sense? Is it always you're just always really?
Because that's what I had seen. That is how I was raised, being the youngest in the family, right?
Yeah.
When the extended family was in politics, they wanted to make a change for the community, for the people they serve. And in medicine, actually, my dad's older brother worked with patients of leprosy. Yes.
Amazing.
So that leprosy in 70s and 80s, I was born in late 70s, but is a stigma. It's still a stigma,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
So, I mean, I grew up in that kind of household. So impact was ingrained in my life. I didn't know any other way.
Mm.
Right, so whatever I did, I tried to create. I mean, at that time, I just knew that I was trying to make something. I was trying to change something,
Yeah.
or make somebody happy. But when you look at it at a larger scale and a large schema, it is like you create impact.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
make a positive change in that community or for that one person.
Absolutely. Do you feel like your family was an inspiration for you?
Absolutely, yes, yes.
In your journey and support, perhaps?
Of course, see,
Yeah.
in anything that we do, right, family support is extremely important.
Mm.
You are here today because your family is
Yes.
supporting, right?
Yeah.
So for any one of us, it's very important that family support is crucial, and we are very fortunate from the community that we come from, right? That's how we are built,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's our culture, right? That's how
It is.
we are raised.
Absolutely.
So it's very important. So my family has always been an inspiration for me, and growing up in India, I had seen a lot of things very closely, and that as a child had an impression on me.
Yeah.
And I'm very fortunate that I'm able to create that and make a change, a positive change, even here today, through the medium of films. And I'm also involved in, during the presidential elections, I get involved in the political stuff as well. On the policy team, I work. I advise as a member, advisor.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I try to make change and do my bit
Absolutely.
for the community.
Absolutely. Do you have a memory from your childhood where you kind of saw people, your family, fighting for change, trying to make an impact that stands out to you?
Yes. So I was
Give me a
very
spot.
little.
Yeah.
No. It's a very important question. So my memory is very bleak about that because I was very little. But we had a leopard in our house, in my grandmother's home in the village, that served us for many years. And as I said, leprosy was at that time considered a stigma.
Yeah.
Right? So it's as good as you're an untouchable.
Yeah.
Right? But still, that person was a very integral part of our family.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And that is the impact. And I was very little, but my brother was 7 years older than me, and he grew up with my grandmother. I grew up in city.
Okay.
Because when I was born, my family moved to the city, but my brother was raised in the village, which is very close to Mumbai, not too far. But yes, those are my memories, right? And when I was growing up, I had a house help. We had a house help 24 hours. She used to stay with us, and she took care of me. So I never thought her as a house help. She was always a part of my family. So my aunt, that was her status.
Absolutely.
Right? And when actually she got married away, my father gave her away as her own our own daughter. So, and my mom set up everything for her, the way she did for me.
That's amazing.
So those are the kind of that's the kind of household I have grown up in. So for me, creating something positive, whatever it can be, it doesn't have to be large, but something minuscule is very important to me.
Yeah.
And I try to imbibe the same values in my kids.
Right.
They're raised here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we often think about kindness as this big thing that you have to make a huge change. You have to do all these grand things, and it's not. It doesn't have to be.
No.
Right. It starts small. I think you can change.
It's free.
You can reach one person.
It's free.
It's free.
It's available everywhere.
It is. if you can help one person, if you can change one person's life,
Correct.
that's change,
Mhm.
right? Because if you change one person's life, that person might change another person's life,
Yes.
and
And
that
then there's the
person-
domino effect,
yeah.
right?
And then you gets on, and suddenly your impact is so much more than.
And you become ambassador. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
That's what I set to create. Is that you create ambassadors. That and that's how there's a domino effect where one tells another, tells another, tells another, and there we go. There's a village that is talking about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you had to name a moment, any moment, your whole life, it could be working on a project, it could be a conversation, it could be a film that you were part of or you watched, anything that put you in a position that you had to re-examine your own mental health and your own worldview, the way you kind of think about the world, right? Think about us, humanity, anything. What would that moment be?
Let me think about it. So there are multiple films that I've worked on.
Yes.
Right. So Jalki being my first film.
Yeah.
Right. It really gave me a view from a perspective that, oh my God, child labor and human trafficking is so much on high because we with Chalki, we did a screening at Tufts.
Okay.
And one of the, now she retired last year, so former state rep K. Khan, she actually came and she addressed and she actually worked on a bill. Because trafficking is right in our backyards here as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that changed my worldview that, we talk only about, developing countries or third world countries, but no, developed countries have also a lot of problems.
Yes.
And mental health issues are way up on rise in developed countries, in our own country here, where we need to tackle it. And, that was one thing that changed my view in terms of, where things are going.
Yeah.
On issues such as human trafficking, child labor, bride slavery, geopolitical issues, immigration issues. Those are the films I've done. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So that's one film. Then the second film that I would like to highlight is I'm just thinking. Was the film called Kashmir Files. Okay, so the Kashmir Files was a film which was based on true events that happened in Kashmir in 1993, exodus of the Kashmiri Hindus.
Yeah.
Right? That film opened my eyes to a level I cannot tell you. We all know what the reality is, right? What happened. But to hear it from people who actually went through it and hear their horrific stories was such an eye-opener for me. I mean, the director of the film is Mr. Neil 3. He did a fabulous job bringing that narrative to the world platform. And with that film, actually, we held a reception for the Kashmiri diaspora in the US Congress.
Wow.
Where people, the congressmen from both the Republican, bipartisan, Republican and the Democratic Party came and spoke.
Yeah.
So that was a really, really big effort and a deal that happened. And that was my brainchild to do that.
Yeah.
And then I spoke about it at the first Vibration Review Forum, that why films like these are so important, to bring this kind of narratives to the world platform, because they can make change and they can bring the stories that might have been told in another way, or they need to be, if they are never told, they need to be told.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that people are aware of what happened.
Yeah, I mean, the power of storytelling, right, is huge.
Yeah, so with that particular film, it was a big eye-opener because, it just broke my heart. meeting those people, hearing what happened. Some of the scenes were shown in the movie, and some of the families were the victims of what happened.
Yeah.
Very, very heartbreaking. But I'm glad movies like this are made and, brought to the world platforms.
Absolutely. And we need to tell the stories, right? Because they're good stories.
For the younger generation, it's very important for the youths to learn.
Yeah.
What our history was.
Yes. Yeah. And I think because when you don't grow up during something, right, or around something, then it's easy to think about it as something that, we know what happened, but we're not like.
No, I mean, see, I grew up during that time. I was a high schooler that time when this happened.
Right.
But the depth of it.
Yes.
And the displacement that people went through.
Yeah.
I'm not in Mumbai.
Yes.
Right? So the actual horrific things that happened, we just read it in newspaper. But the depth of it was never known.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Till, Absolutely. And I think, for me,
I met those people.
Yeah.
I saw the film.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is the reality.
Yeah. Absolutely. For me, for my generation, we grow up after it, right? We have no sense of the weight because everything we read is like, we're reading online, this happened X amount of years ago. There's not a sense of the weight of some of these things, right? Of these are real stories. I think that's where the power of stories, the power of movies, and storytelling comes in, is where I can go and watch this movie and I may not have lived during that time or lived in any form kind of through that experience, but I can see it, right?
See, now in your times, this is a very important point that I want to bring. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Is that, but in your times, and in a few years down the line, or maybe next year, we never know, it can be as soon, there will be stories and films that will be coming on the current incident that happened with Israel and Palestine.
Yes.
Or with Ukraine and Russia, what is happening. I'm pretty sure there will be filmmakers that will be touching on this topic. And I think it is important that topics like this are touched. So, you get views from both the sides.
Yeah.
Because many times what happens is, these kind of stories become case studies for universities.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think the point of both sides, right, is huge because we often tell stories and look at stories from one side.
Correct.
Like the story of the victor is a whole kind of premise in storytelling, right? Whoever wins is often the person who tells the story from their perspective. I think having that storytelling from both sides, looking at things from both angles, understanding intent, right, allows us to be better as humans in our own society, right?
Correct.
To learn from mistakes that we've made as a culture, right?
Absolutely.
As a human race.
Absolutely.
And I think that learning can only happen when we fully understand something.
Absolutely.
And so often we look at just one side.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's amazing. So, obviously, this podcast is kind of predicated around mental health for young people, right? That's sort of the whole goal, that's the vision in terms of what I'm trying to tackle. And I think a lot of people are a mother. As you mentioned, you made it a short film about people on social media. I want to ask you, a lot of young people today live with mental health struggles, right? Whether that's cultural pressure, whether that is identity questions, whether that's loneliness, whether that's social media, as we started this conversation with, right? Where can creativity, storytelling be a tool to help people process pain, build resilience, understand themselves?
See, I'll tell you, late last year, early this year, I came in touch with, I will not tell you the name of the young guy, he's based in Chicago, but he's a survivor, okay? And he had a lot of mental health issues, but he survived.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he took upon him to tell his struggles through the medium of storytelling and films.
Yeah.
Right?
Amazing.
It's amazing in the sense, and talking to him over the period of time, and we wanted to do something at the Capitol Hill, but with the timings and things didn't pan out. But what he was trying to bring to light, and I said, I'm just going to be your backbone to help you create it, and you become the face of it and run with it, because it's very important to tell the story from youth perspective.
Yeah.
So with his, when I started, learning more about what his struggles were and what he went through, identity issues, but he survived. And he said his mom was his biggest strength, who stood with him through thick and thin. And that's how he emerged victorious. And with all the issues that he had, he still has his ups and lows.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, he survived.
Yeah.
And he's standing strong.
Yeah.
So with all that is happening, right? As you mentioned, the pressures of being relevant, the cultural, fitting in the culture fit, as we say, or being heard, being known, being seen. It's all there. But at the end of the day, one should understand that it's within us. Right?
Right.
It's within us and it has to come from us.
Right.
There are external factors and people that will help you. But it should be within us. And it's not only for youth, it's for everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have our good days and bad days and worse days.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And with so many things happening, it's very much upon us, because stress is synonym to how human beings are now kind of programmed in their daily life. I mean, you're stressed, I'm stressed. Probably everybody here who is here, they are stressed. So it's synonym to us. But how we take care of it, right? How honest are we to ourselves and to our family? Because at the end of the day, we owe to our family, not just to ourselves.
Yeah.
We cannot be that greedy.
Yes.
And that is something that young children and youth should understand, is it's not only about them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When something happens to them, the entire family will break or will collapse.
Yeah.
So being, as I said, right, today's youth that I know are very emotionally intelligent, have that self-awareness, but at the same time, there are gaps that need to be addressed. At least they are open to speaking.
Yes.
Right, which was not the case before.
Yeah.
So that is a plus point.
Yeah.
And we should always build on the plus points.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And we live in a country where help is available at our fingertips. So
yeah.
I mean, we should make the best out of it.
No, I agree. I completely agree. So I end every interview with the same question. What are some words you choose to live by and why?
So when my friend had given me a card on my birthday, maybe when I was 16, 17, okay? And there was a poem written by Helen Price. And those are the words that I live by. Okay? That no matter what our yesterday is happening, our tomorrow will be different. Till we have life, the fires of hope won't die. The wonderment of unknown realm, the splendor of our vast future, lies in the eternal tomorrow, the day for which life is worth living, because there is always a tomorrow.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here. Thank you.